When Anna Lederer Rosenberg raised her right hand on November 15, 1950, she became the first woman to serve as an Assistant Secretary of Defense, the highest position ever held by a woman in the U.S. Department of Defense at the time. In 1924, she opened her own public relations firm and specialized in employee and labor issues. In the early 1930s, she began working for the National Recovery Administration, becoming New York State Director in 1936. The next year, she became Regional Director for the Social Security Board. During World War II, she served as Regional Director for the War Manpower Commission. In 1944, President Roosevelt sent Rosenberg to Europe to report on the needs of soldiers as they were demobilized. She recommended educational programs and encouraged the president to support the GI Bill. After the war, she ran her consulting business and in 1950 was nominated by George Marshall for Assistant Secretary of Defense for Manpower and Personnel. Marshall said of her nomination, "I am delighted that I was successful in persuading Mrs. Rosenberg to undertake the office of Assistant Secretary of Defense. During my few weeks as secretary, I found tremendous pressures regarding manpower. Preparing for this problem, I found the consensus of opinion was that one of the outstanding experts in the United States was Mrs. Anna Rosenberg. I feel that I personally and the Defense Department have been very fortunate in securing her reluctant agreement to serve as Assistant Secretary of Defense with special relation to manpower and personnel." Rosenberg, a lifelong Democrat, was opposed by Senator Joe McCarthy for supposed connections to the Marxist John Reed Club. Anna Rosenberg told Marshall biographer Dr. Forrest Pogue that Marshall told her, quote, "I had his complete backing. I was almost his Dreyfus case. He told me when all this started that people after me are going to go after you. When this matter came up about my appointment, I went to him and I said, I am willing to resign. It was the only time I saw him get mad. He said, I told you this would happen." An FBI investigation into perjured testimony before the Senate Armed Forces Committee cleared Rosenberg, who was unanimously recommended by the Senate Armed Services Committee. Rosenberg said of Marshall, "His appreciation of human values is tremendous." Pogue then questioned, "Is he conservative but understands the liberal position?" Rosenberg responded, "No, he has no political philosophy. He belongs where it is right, and it doesn't matter whether it is conservative or liberal." She worked on the implementation of the National Security Act, promoting racial integration of the services, and supported legislation safeguarding the rights of minorities in the military. Rosenberg lived in New York City and died there in 1983.